Hello and welcome. My name is Esther. I'm an artist, spiritualist, and a healer. I do primarily work in person with one-on-one clients as well as groups. However, this is just another way that is a form of how I can help the collective and all of us moving together. And so today I want to speak about the heart because as we're in the energy of October, it's actually really valuable and important to focus on the heart forces and what that means, because that's a big topic, right? And it's also about love, but love is a very unique topic. It means something different to everyone. However, pure love is actually honest, right? And that's about unconditional love as well. So we're going to pull from the Rose Oracle, see what comes out as the best and highest good messages for the collective right now, what you need to know, and also just where we can really work on the love energy this month, because this is an opportunity of growth and the inward processes that are really going to carry us into 2026 and the new energies that are coming through for all of your highest good, your manifestations. So 2025 being such this intensified year has actually been this beautiful opportunity of shifting, growth, and strengthening through humanity. Although it's felt, of course, not the easiest. So first you got the bloom, creations realized, right time, harvest, celebrate. That couldn't be more perfect. You know, October is really that harvest time. It's really about what are all the seeds you've sown? What are all the shifts and changes you've made this year? Where have you grown within yourself, learned through pain, struggle, loss? What has it taught you? Or even shifts in your inner being. That could have been health related. That could have been working on enhancement of yourself, your habits, inner talk, how you treat your body, all of those elements. And then you also got healing the mother line, healing, ancestral work, mother line, growing up. Wow. So all this work as well is honestly been for the betterment of your lineage. As we know, when we change ourselves, it actually streams into the lineage. It helps all of those within the family line as well. So we're also going to work your light for these and just get the best advice on what you can focus on, where your light needs to be focused, where you need to strengthen, where the heart forces can be focused, and where that internal love and external love can kind of bloom. Love it. Wonderful. So best advice, Spirit, for the bloom, for work your light for the collective, please. For the bloom, work your light, best advice. Thank you. So when we're speaking of the heart, it's actually about truth, right? So it's like, where can you speak your truth? Because what's loving is sometimes not always easy to hear, right? Even when we need to love or mother the self, it's not always easy. Sometimes it means facing those hard truths and really recognizing like, well, maybe you're not really loving yourself in the best way because you're still sabotaging or using different vices or numbing out or not paying attention to where you need to shift or grow. But you have done the work this year, and that's quite evident. So, oh wow. Lovely. So you got birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Absolutely. So this is really leaping into your highest timeline, right? This is reaping what you sow here in this harvest time. And you also got play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So for the fall, it's kind of this energy of both finding the quiet time, the sanctuary time, the peaceful, harmonious time within yourself to do the work and recognize what is it that you really need, as well as connecting with friends and family. Where I live, we have Thanksgiving, and that's really about sharing, the coming together, the sharing of the meals, the unifying with those you love, and being grateful and thankful for what you hold and you have. And it's very much that harvest, right? We have the pumpkins and squash coming out, and this abundance of where the earth is shifting. So we have this harvest time, but we also have this process of what's been dying away to go back to nourish the soil and nourish through the winter seasons so that it can replenish the earth and then spring the new into the new year of, and then into the springtime when all the plants rebloom again. So with this harvest time, this is really about recognizing within yourself, within your heart, everything that's changed this year. Where has it planted those new seeds, those new capacities, that new learning within you that is now being harvested, and where it has taught you and grown you? Because with the bloom, you got creations realized. This is no small feat. This means, collective, that this is the right time for you to harvest and to celebrate for all you're overcoming this year, as well as all that you've been working on. That could be business related, that could be rebirthing of, honestly, new life, children, but that could also be new relationships that have formed and come in. But most and foremost, it's about your inner relationship. So when it comes to the heart, it's really about being compassionate, graceful, and loving and kind to the self, right? So if you are a light worker, especially, or someone who is within the streams of helping humanity or the earth within your entrepreneurship, that can be anything to do with nature or children. That can be, you could be in the healing modalities, you could be an artist, a creative, but it's where your soul's expression is now coming into form with the work that you want to do in the world. So it's about you shining your authenticity. And that was actually this year's opportunity for humanity, was to step more into their authenticity, to make the changes and the shifts where they needed to transform. And so this, within the October months and going into winter, is really about the blooming of realizing your creations, being really proud of where you have overcome and moved through a lot of loss or challenge or obstacle this year, or shifts or changes in your life. And taking a moment to go inward, not only to celebrate with all your friends, but also the balance of the quiet. And to really recognize your body, recognize your heart, and recognize all of the love that you've really, truly overpoured, and how you have been resilient through all of these times. So this has been a year of quite an immense amount of grief for humanity. So this is coming out of the grief, and now in the winter, it's about the integration and the inward processes. This is about fighting those lower forces within. This is about rising above, right? Archangel Michael, the slaying of the dragon through Michaelmas. It's about where are those shadows in the body, in the being shed with light and having been transformed. So it's still a miraculous time for humanity right to the end of 2025, because this last period is all about, okay, this year has been change, this year has been intense. Now, through the winter months, is the integration of understanding the inward being on a deeper level, overcoming the old patterns or habits or self-sabotage or numbing, because that's what's going to catapult you in the new year and within the fresh new energy and into your blooming. So this is really about harvest time of gratitude and appreciation for your body, your being, and how far you've come. We'll get some tarot on that. Thank you, Spirit. So one flew out really fast, and 5 of Swords, exactly. So this came out actually in reverse. So the 5 of Swords is typically about conflict, loss, betrayal. But in the reverse, in how it came out, collective, and with the throat chakra, This means your expression has been healed because you've been doing the work. You've been moving through the shifts and the changes as necessary with the higher view, with a heart, with compassion, grace, allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to grieve, allowing yourself to remain strong and resilient through the shifts and changes that were presented to you, and also to learn from your actions of anything that you needed to forgive within the self or where you needed to shift for the better within the self. Because this in reverse is about peaceful resolution. So congratulations. Surrendering the ego, right? This is where you've removed the mask. You've shed the light on where you were unaligned or where you wanted to be more authentic or where you wanted to connect with things that were of the higher, that were more aligned to you, aligned to your heart, and pouring in that love of self, that grace of self, being kind to yourself and saying, I'm not okay today, but I love me. And through all of these changes this year, your inner worth has grown now. Now you know what you will and will not accept. Now you know, what? I deserve better. And I deserve to treat myself better. And I deserve to be valued higher, be respected for whom I am. And the right people will respect me. So this is where shifts in relationships, but this is really about where your inner honor has enhanced this year because of all the change that you had to grieve and navigate through. Because this is about compromise and communication in healthy ways. It's also about moving on. You're moving forward with grace, with kindness, with compassion of yourself. And many things that have shifted out have actually made room for all that of your highest good that's coming in now anew. So it's really about forgiveness, right? And no longer holding on to regret or remorse or pain. It's just about allowing everything to be as it is, understanding that what was meant for you happened. What is meant for you will always connect to you. What is not meant for you will die away. And that's what this year was, which is why it was so intense. But it was for the highest good, I promise you. And you understand this now because you've been willing to pour that love back into your own cup, to nourish the self, to choose better for your health, better in your relationships, to expect more, to raise your self-value and your worth higher, to know that you are more than capable, you are lovable, you deserve love, you deserve kindness, you deserve respect, you deserve to receive as you give out. Because this is where you've learned from mistakes. This is amazing. I love that that came in reverse. So celebrate that. Celebrate the accomplishments and the wins. It doesn't mean how small or large you perceive it to be, but take a moment to hold gratitude for yourself. Just as you overpour out of you all this kindness, this love, this grace, this empathy, this help to your family or your friends or in your work or your community, that is where Spirit's saying, pour that back into you now. Mirror that back into your own heart. Send your own heart love from you. Send your own being compassion, grace, kindness, and appreciation through all that you've overcome this year, all that you've had to face and move through, both in your external environment as well as the inner honesty of understanding, where do I keep myself in lack? Where do I maybe not speak the highest to myself? Where do I maybe need to take better care of my health or nourish my being? All of those elements, or work on the mind, right? Because your outcome for working the light in this realm is birthing a new age. Your wholeness and your heart relationship with self is the health of humanity. It's the health of the universe. It's the health of the world. It is the consciousness evolution. So this is what Spirit's saying is your work this year. Congratulations and thank you, because that is what's birthing a new age. That is what is about dreaming a new world into being. So the more whole you become in yourself, the more that you're able to receive the wholeness and the prosperity and the levels up. This is your glow up time. This is your opportunity to now in October reintegrate that radical inner self-love. Because when you hold that inner self-love, then you have more than enough love and compassion and grace to overpour outside of you for your family, your relationships, your community, your work, and most importantly, yourself, your health, and your life. So this is very about birthing new creations. And the reason that you're being able to birth new creations is because you've come back into an inner honor. You've come back into an inner loving space. And October is the perfect time to continue that exact work. So connecting with those you love through this time of gatherings and celebrations and having fun and unifying with those you love and that you really connect with, but also your own being, you with you. So it's a balance of the heart and the loving elements, both in your own quiet time as well as in your own collaborative time and sharing. Because you also got healing the mother line, right? This is no small feat. So your shifts and changes are trickling in for your ancestors, right? We all know that when someone shifts and changes and chooses higher, especially in a family line, not only do you heal 7 generations past, so your ancestors are immensely proud and grateful, but also you heal 7 generations forward. It becomes that line of the stream of health, gifting all those that came before you healing and help, but also all those that will come after you, gifting them an opportunity of a higher healing and help, and showing a new way, right? It's like, be the change you want to see in the world. You shining your light is the most powerful and kind and respectful thing you can do. So the more that you come into wholeness and thriving, the more of a gift it is for humanity. And to also understand these shifts and these changes this year was to align you to those who support your thriving, right? Because those who are meant for you, the elements of life that are meant and aligned for you will always make your nervous system feel calm, safe, and loved without having to explain yourself, without having to defend yourself. And also the alignments will always feel easy. They will feel natural and flowing, right? When we are unaligned, that's where we meet resistance. That's where we meet intensity. And that's where the crumbling away is necessary. And that's why all that shifting had to happen, because it was to clear out. Your spiritual team was clearing out what was no longer for your highest good so that you could receive all that is, receiving the new. And that is also in relationships, because those who are really meant for you will always support your thriving. They will want you to thrive. They will want you to succeed. That is natural. That is the way we're meant to be. We're meant to honor each other because your success is the success of the whole. I'm cheering you on. So even if it's just me, I'm cheering you on. Keep going. Shine your light. Believe in yourself. Love your beautiful, miraculous, unique self. Because you're needed and you are valued and you're important. And clearly, if you're resonating with this, you've already been doing the work. You've already gone through a lot this year, and you now are pouring in that love, knowing your worth and your value in a new way, understanding elements of what you do and do not deserve in a new way, where you do and do not belong in a new way, who you are not in a new way. So your advice with that is to play. So express yourself. Now that you've had all this transformation, what is it that you want to express, right? How do you want to play? Dance, get into that higher vibration. You know, laughter is so important. And it's just like Amma says, we can either spend our day crying or laughing, but we're still going to have to go through the day. So you may as well choose to laugh. You may as well choose to bring things a little lighter, you know, and with transformation, an element that's really helpful is just to bring curiosity, play, and a childlike wonder to something, to open the heart, right? to not put pressure on, but rather to get curious and playful and say, okay, well, now I get to try something new. Now I want to play. I want to dance. I want to express. I want to create. I want to connect with new things and new people that I actually have always wanted to connect with or that I've always been interested in. It's like this brand new opportunity of you being able to not be so serious. You get to be you. You are more than allowed to be you. You are now in the driver's seat of you. And this is very, very loving work. To play, to dance, to be free, to come back to our true essence, our soul spirit essence, our heart essence. That is a loving act. Inner radical honesty, understanding the grace and the kindness with the reversal of the 5 of Swords is love. It's to understand a peaceful resolution. It's to let go of what was and that what changed and what had to die away with honor and gratitude, knowing that it's for your highest good and it's led you to new doors, new possibilities, new opportunities, your elevation in your evolution. That is a loving act. So we'll see advice from the tarot here. Thank you, Spirit. I think that wanted to come out, that too. Oh dear. Brilliant. Well, we'll go simple today, and then we'll do the light seers. Oh, wow. You got the Heart and the Lovers. How truly fitting and perfect. So with play being the Lovers, this is very heart-centered, right? This is heart-centered energy. This is a loving energy, right? And it's a major arcana, right? The Lovers is my personal value systems lead me to love. Exactly. You're now honoring not only what you truly believe in and align with in your belief systems, but you're pouring that love back into you. You're filling your cup so that now you have more than enough to overpour in the right areas and connect with those and discern where do you want to place your energy and your focus and why? What is truly aligned with your highest timeline? You know, where can you honor the self immensely and in a higher view? Because this is about love and soulmates, right? This is about commitments and kindred spirits. This is about when we shift in ourselves and we really honor and love the self, it's like you become this magnetized, beautiful energy that just attracts all that is actually meant for you, authentically, genuinely, in a wholehearted, unconditional, loving way. You know, and this is about shared values, right? It may even be romantic situations, but primarily it's about romanticizing the self. It's about your inner nurture and care and self-care and inner honor. I love that. Oh my gosh. So to receive the Lovers is so beautiful because it means that you're balancing out within your inner being. You're really honoring your heart. You're honoring what lights you up. You're allowing yourself to play. You're allowing yourself to have fun again. You're allowing yourself to recognize yourself for all of your achievements. You're finally able to say good job to yourself and pouring back in that kindness, that grace, that empathy, that love back into your own heart from you. Amazing. I'm really proud of you. And thank you, because your love is the love of humanity, right? So much appreciated. And I'm cheering you on. So just know that there's immense gratitude, because when you shine, it shines a light to the whole planet. Wow. So your clarifier is 6 of Wands. You certainly are shining. And there's major, major celebration. You were always meant to shine. You were always meant to share your gifts. You were always meant to lead a life of joy and honor and prosperity. You may be a leader in your field. You're certainly a creative and certainly spiritually led. And so this is about shining your magic and your light and your gifts out to the world. all of this changes has also prepared you to overcome fears, right? And it's overcoming lack mentality. That's why your worth and your inner love and your inner value was enhanced this year. Not in an easy way, yes, because that means you have to go through a little bit of struggle, pain, loss, changes, and shifts. But that is what Spirit was bringing you to a level up so that you could sustain this joy and know your worth and your value. You could shine your light and your voice to humanity and really step into your inner authority, right? So it was all for a purpose and a reason. It was all to bring you into a higher way. So self-care advice for October and how you can just nourish that beautiful heart of yours and continue sustaining this, right? And not forgetting to give yourself kudos and gratitude once in a while. You know, it doesn't have to be something really big, but it is about honoring it. Wow. Okay, so the 3 that came out. First and foremost, intent, and I'll just cover that. So YouTube doesn't stop this. But really bearing your soul, right? So intent. This oracle says, focus your energy. There is amazing power in strong intention. Beautiful. So focusing your energy, intent, right? Silence. And look at that, it's even in the fall. So getting in nature, taking time for a forest path, perhaps a hike, a walk, something that allows you a little bit of stillness and peace. But it says, rest your mind. Silence is good self-care. Exactly. So even through those celebrations, and that's interesting, it's also about the inner quiet, the rest. The last one that you got for your advice is release. Have a good cry. Grief is a doorway to your deepest self. Exactly. So with everything that you've kind of overcome and had to move through this year, don't forget to take that moment of stillness within yourself, because you may have been so busy that you haven't fully taken enough time to grieve what was and to really let it go. And Spirit is saying that's necessary. So because for you to shine into this higher timeline that's come in, if not already experienced, it is coming in, then you still have a little bit of releasing to go and move through you with a lot of kindness and grace. You're healing on your own time. There's never any rush. But Spirit's just reminding you to still recognize what needs to move through your body, what you need to still grieve or honor through what you've kind of surrendered from moving on from the past, and moving on compassionately, with grace, with kindness, with honor. What a beautiful reading of the heart and this energy. So I'm just sending you so much light and love, and thank you for all the work you've done. Thank you for your willingness to transform this year and to really step into shining your light, because your light is the light for humanity, and that's no small feat. And it is immensely appreciated, because your happiness, your joy, your heart resonance is the happiness, joy, and the heart resonance for the whole collective. And you become one of those light markers that carry others, that guide the way. So yeah, please like, share, comment, subscribe below if this resonates. Also, because I'm not very known on here, the chances of you finding this reading in itself are quite rare. So if you resonated with this, then it's even more of a confirmation that your spiritual team led you here for a reason, and you should be immensely proud. So keep glowing, keep shining. This is your glow up. Shine that heart. Know your worth and your value. Be immensely proud of everything you've been through, and be kind to that beautiful being of yours. All right, cheers.